The World According to Dutch. And now your host, Dutch Coleman.
A dedication to all the refugees worldwide. One time. Say. I remember when we used to sit in a government yard in Brooklyn. About solving the crookedness.
Welcome back in. World According to Dutch. D. Dutch Coleman. I'm getting a little excited today. I must admit. Anything that has to do with these young people get me excited, man. I'm telling you, I've spent my whole life, even when it wasn't directly, I've spent my whole life trying to help young people get to that next level. And it started because of where I came from. I came from a background that wasn't conducive to growth and opportunity for a young person. I made my way out, but it wasn't because of me. It was because of other people. It was because of my dad who came and got me and my sisters out of that situation and showed us something different. Also, the grace of God. I believe everything that happened to me, if it wasn't for the grace of God, that it wouldn't have happened. And then there was a little tiny bit of me in there trying to take advantage of the opportunities that did come my way. And so I see these kids, man, and a lot of them come from places that I came from. And it pains me that they're being manipulated and abused. And a lot of people have the attitude of where they know what they're getting into and all that stuff. But the problem is they don't. They don't. You're talking about 17, 18-year-old kids that don't know. They know right from wrong, but they don't understand the impact that it's going to have on their lives for the rest of their lives. And that's where adults come in. That's where we in leadership come in. And the ones that are given this responsibility to populate these colleges with these students, to do it the right way and how it benefits the university and it benefits the student. And it right now it's been slanted big time towards the benefits of the university and the coaches. And there needs to be some more balance. There needs to be, and there are always going to be kids that aren't going to do what they got to do, but there's a path for them too. There's a path right out of there for them. But if you're going to bring these kids in, bring them in the right way, give them what they need, and send them out into the world with some stuff that they can carry on with them the rest of their lives. So that bothers me. And when I see these coaches making millions of dollars off the backs of these kids, and then the deception in which he handles this stuff, man. I can see it, man. I've been there. I've seen what some of these coaches do, and I've seen what some of the assistants do, and I've seen what happens and I've seen what some of the handlers of these kids do. And it bothers me, man. It bothers me, man. And I won't ever stop being concerned about that stuff, man. It won't ever stop. That's who I am. That's who I'll always be. That won't change. So forgive me if I seem a little, if I seem to take that a little more personal than the average person. So again, Rick Pitino or situations like this disgust me, man. They just disgust me. So I'm gonna get off that right now, man, and move on to some new stuff. And I want to talk about this T.O., man. Terrell Owens, as he corrected us years later. Terrell Owens, man, receiver extraordinaire, missed the NFL by not becoming missed the NFL Hall of Fame by not getting in on the first ballot, which we know is a prestigious honor to get in on the first ballot, which always confuses me because if you're a Hall of Famer, you're a Hall of Famer. Who cares? But there's a big positive connotation that goes with that when you're a first ballot Hall of Famer as compared to any other, especially in the case with T.O., where it's obvious on the field you were the best. Anytime you end up number 2 in your position in like catches, or I think it was number 3 in touchdowns and all, you're a Hall of Famer. There's no question. Now, T.O. had a love-hate relationship with the media, or more a hate-hate relationship with the media. He had some problems with his teammates allegedly. Now I know we can look at that one way or the other because he had people in his camp on the team. He had people not on this camp. We know that sometimes extremely competitive people rub teammates the wrong way because they demand you to act a certain way. I remember a story about Corey Dillon when he was played with the Bengals. I knew some people that played, and so Corey Dillon was seen as a pariah, right? You know, you heard stories about him fighting with his teammates and stuff like that. And this guy, as far as the media was concerned, was a pariah. They finally shipped him off to New England Patriots when he basically played his way out of Cincinnati with all the distractions and stuff. I think the final straw was a fight with a teammate. Well, I talked to some people that were directly involved with the situation, and they explained it to me the way it had never been explained to me before. People from the inside said, you know, Corey Dillon wasn't the problem. The problem actually was his teammates because he demanded excellence. And if you saw Corey Dillon play, he was an excellent football player. He demanded excellence from his teammates, so he would be angered whenever he saw them not giving their full effort, and he would call them out on it. Of course, if you're the one good thing or one of the few good things in a horrible organization, you're the outlier. So the organization is actually going to rebel against you. The players are going to rebel against you. If I go into a corrupt environment as the one that says, man, we need to work, we need to do better, we need to work harder, we need to do these things, man, they're going to kick me out, and they're going to make me look bad. So I heard this is what, in fact, happened to Corey Dillon when the outside world is treating it like Corey Dillon is the bad guy. So he's fighting with his teammate because his teammate refused to work hard and give it his all. He called him out on it. So now, if we liked Corey Dillon and that's the narrative that the media wanted to say, then we would have crowned him as a shining hero, the one guy in Cincinnati Bengals history that wants to work, that wants to change the culture and all these things. But the culture was too poisonous, it was too toxic. Corey Dillon wasn't enough. He gets shipped out. He goes, I think he wins a championship with the Patriots. He was on that team when they won the Super Bowl. And you heard nothing else about it. He didn't have any problems with the Patriots, model citizen, everything. No problem. So you got T.O. So I look at every situation, even back to my time as a member of the Clemson Tigers, the media had and the fans had a notion about certain players that was completely opposite. And then so they had players that they thought were bad guys are actually good guys. Players they thought were good guys are actually bad guys. Now I knew this only because I'm in the locker room. So I'm like, man, this was crazy. So now when I look at situations, now I say, you know what, this could be that situation. So I'm not going to prejudge a guy based on anything the media says. So T.O. finds himself in this position where he always seems to be that guy. Always seems to be that guy. But then you always had other guys who said, no, man, he will call people out on their BS. And so he became a problem. When the famous Tony Romo stuff happened, when he talked about Tony Romo throwing it to his best friend, and his reported best friend, this is not made up, Jason Witten, who's an excellent tight end. But he would throw it to Jason Witten, double coverage, when there's other people running up and down the field open. And I said this before T.O. ever said it. This is why I was in T.O.'s camp on this, because he said something that I had already said. Why does he keep throwing it, forcing it into Witten when that guy's open? I'm happy he's doing it. I'm a Skins fan. I'm happy he's doing it. But I would laugh that guy's open, he's forcing it to Witten. Now, Witten will sometimes catch it. Witten wouldn't sometimes catch it because it'd be an impossible situation for Witten. But your boy Romo always threw it to Witten. So T.O. says this stuff. He has a problem with it. He says it to the coaches. It gets out that he said he didn't. So he didn't, according to him, he didn't intend for it to be public. It was supposed to be a private conversation between him and Haley. I think Haley was the wide receiver coach in Dallas at the time. And it got out. So the media paints it as yet again another situation where T.O. is tearing apart a team. So he's demanding some sort of excellence by saying, hey, man, there are guys running up and down the field open. Why do you keep throwing it to him? Spread the ball around. I'm trying to win. So, but if the media wants you painted a certain way, you're going to be painted a certain way. We already seen that. So now, T.O.'s never had a blemish off the field. No arrest, no anything like that. Now, we know the NFL. We know some of our best players in the NFL have had off the field problems, right? T.O.'s had none of that. We know he played hard. We know he produced. We know all those things. But he had the love-hate relationship with the media. So he doesn't get in first ballot Hall of Fame. Doesn't get in. Ridiculous. So this guy, and again, I think it's a flawed process. People let their personal feelings get involved, and then they don't let him in. Now, he may get in next year. He may get in the year after that. After he said some of the things he said this year, he may not get in next time. They may hold it against him now because we know the media holds a grudge. We've seen it. We know that already. So this would not be foreign territory if they did this. So again, T.O. may be in danger of not getting in. So I did want to touch on that. Shout out to T.O., man. Great football player. Entertaining. He didn't do it the way I would have done it, but I'm not going to blame him because he did it his way. The same, much the same with Cam Newton. Look, man, you can do it your way. It's not the way I would do it, but I'm not going to hate on you because of the way you're doing it. And as I transition to that, I want to go into Cam Newton, his follow-up with the press conference. He's not apologizing, which I'm okay with that. Be who you are. He's 26 years old. He's not. He hasn't learned to the point where he's going to give you a genuine apology. So you want a fake apology? Now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, he may come back and say, you know what? I should have handled that better. If I could go back, I would do it differently. I regret doing this and that. So when people say that 5-10 years later, it's because they've grown. If they say it the next day, it's because somebody told them to say it. See, so you don't want genuine apologies. You don't want genuine growth. You just want to hear what you want to hear. Media, fans, some fans, you don't care if he grows or not because he can come out today and say, you know what, I apologize. No, he doesn't feel that way. He will one day, hopefully for his sake. But he doesn't feel that way. So one thing you're going to always get with Cam is how he really feels, even though people for some reason try to say this guy isn't genuine when all he's giving you is how he feels, which you just don't happen to agree with, some of you, because he's been getting a ton of support. Panther Nation has had his back. I commend Panther Nation. They're going to keep him good, bad, or indifferent, at least for now, as long as he's on the team. No different from any other fan base. If you're on our team, you're our guy, we're going to protect you. We're going to give you a certain level of comfort, a certain pass, so to speak, because you're our guy. You're our guy. You're fighting for us every Sunday. We're going to fight for you in the paper. So I say all that to say, do you want Cam to apologize when he doesn't mean it? Or do you want him to apologize when he does mean it? He's 26 years old. He hadn't broken any laws. He's rubbed some people the wrong way. He's gone against conventional wisdom when it comes to people in sport. But he hadn't heard anything. He's a sore loser. And as he said in his own, okay, you show me a good loser and I'll show you a loser. Had that been said by certain other people, that would have been accepted as brilliant. He's quoting an all-time great when he says that. Show me a good loser and I'll show you a loser. I'm good. I'm good because I know from now on, whatever Cam says is going to be the real Cam. I don't know whatever so-and-so says, if that's the real him or that person or that person sounds just like that person. And that person sounds just like that person. That person sounded like that person 10 years ago. All them people sound alike. I don't know if they're telling the truth or if they were told to say that. Cam, he's telling the truth. And if you don't believe it now after today and all the talk today, then shame on you. That guy's genuine, man. He's telling you like it T.I. is. And if you don't like it, you don't like it. And he's not apologizing. He's not apologizing because you don't like it. I don't like it per se, but I like it. I like the way he's handling himself because if I don't like what you do, the least that I know is that you're honest. And I like honesty over anything because I know where you stand. I know where I stand. Honesty is always the best policy no matter what, because the alternative is not honest. And I don't like that either. And you don't like it, but you don't want to admit that. So you only like it when it's saying something that, again, and it's not all of you, because he's been getting tremendous support from Panther Nation, man. Pout, Cam, pout. I'm not going to pout. I'm a sore loser, but I don't handle my sore losing that way. I handle my sore losing a different way. I'm still going to do and again, let me give Cam props for this. You did the most important part. You found the people you were battling against and you gave them props. You congratulated them. I'm giving you more props than that than you talking to some stinking media people, asking some dumb questions about nothing. And I like the way he stood up there today. And I suggested that the next day is when they should talk to him anyway, because he's such a competitor. He's going to be emotional. He's going to do all those things. Yeah, well, other people had to stand in there and take it. Yeah, but he ain't other people. He ain't other people. And he ain't me, because I would have stood there and took it. I would have stood there and took it. And I think he's wrong for not standing there. But you know what he did? He did do the minutes. I think it's 3 minutes that the NFL says you have to do. He did 2 minutes and 59 seconds because they don't leave until somebody say you can leave. When they give him that finger, yo, you can leave if you want. You don't have to answer any more questions. And I think he did that. So at 2:59 or 3, he got up and left. He was told he can leave. So I wouldn't have done that way. I think he was wrong for doing it. I think you got to stand in there and take the bat. Take it. Hey, you take that heat, man. Show you a man. Take that heat. But if you don't, that's all I'm going to say is you were supposed to do that. And if the NFL wants to levy a fine or somebody want to ask me what I think he should have done, then I'm going to tell you what I think he should have done. But I'm also proud that he did what he thought he should have done. Do you, Cam? Live with the consequences, whether people like you, don't like you, agree, disagree. You got to live with that. But I know you're doing you. Whenever I hear you open your mouth, I'm going to always assume you're telling the truth. Just because of this situation here, I'm going to assume that you're telling me what you're telling me, how you feel, because you didn't come back and apologize the next day because Ron Rivera got in your ear or Richardson got in your ear. Any of that stuff happened, or Goodell got in your ear, or any of that stuff. None of that stuff happened. You still stuck to your guns. So from now on, you are the most honest dude in the NFL. I'm talking about good news, bad news, or whatever. You have now been crowned the most honest dude in the NFL. And I'll be right back in a second.